We could build the pyramids today.
I don't think we could.
I think we could.
Are
We
you-
literally built a Bass Pro Shop that is a pyramid.
We build skyscrapers that float across the ocean, and we can't build the fucking pyramids? Give me a break.
Are they secret alien power stations?
Ooh, power stations.
I don't know. So aliens. And I was like, oh yeah, it was extraterrestrial. Welcome to a lunchtime conversation.
Man fears time, time fears the pyramids. That's a proverb.
Man fears time, time fears the pyramid.
Did you know that Cleopatra lived closer in time to today than she did to the construction of the pyramids?
They're that old.
They're that old. So I have some fun facts to talk about the pyramids. This might be just a quick episode, but it is. Did you know we don't have any text or hieroglyphics about how the pyramids were made?
It just showed up to existence.
They like
we've been trying to figure out how they've been made for a long time, and like we thought we knew, but we're always like finding new things, and everyone's always like making theories and conspiracies about how they were made, right?
And I think some of the crazy stuff is the precision in which they cut the rocks. Like you can't even fit a razor blade in between the rocks. Like that's how precise.
Which also, aren't they like 100% northeast, southwest facing?
Yeah, so that's one of the facts. Nice job.
I don't. That seems plausible to me. We knew enough about the space that
to the
15
specs that they have it.
15 to 20,000 years. That's the other thing is we don't know when they were built.
When did we know?
And aren't they in the shape of a constellation too? Like they're
We don't know when they were built.
Like it took.
How old are they? We don't know how old they actually are.
Old as shit.
I guess we could carbon date them or whatever. Oh no, they carbon date's a rock.
Yeah, they could.
That carbonates the rock. Dumbass.
What I want to say. So here's one thing that's mind blowing. There's this is what makes up the pyramid. There's 2.3 million stone blocks that make up the Great Pyramid, and they average 2.5 tons per block. So even like do some math on it. Like say you had this was actually another cool fact that I found. They don't think that it was done by slaves. They think it was actually like highly skilled laborers that got paid really well to do this. So say you had.
There was no record of any slaves being involved with the pyramids.
But so say you had like 500 people that were badass. Like how are 500 people moving? What was it? 2.3 million blocks?
Didn't they say it would take them like, I don't know, 2,000 years to even build it or something crazy like that?
Okay. I was actually, what's funny is I was just listening to a podcast.
Nice.
That was talking about the pyramids, and they were talking about it like, man, fucking aliens, man.
Yeah, it
was the aliens. We could build the pyramids today.
I don't think we could.
I think we could. We literally built a Bass Pro Shop that is a pyramid.
We build skyscrapers that float across the ocean, and we can't build the fucking pyramids? Give me a break.
So no, going back to it, like I'm going to give you primitive tools and you build the pyramids.
It doesn't matter. Forget about primitive tools. Okay?
All right.
We could build the pyramids today.
Why don't we?
Easily.
We have.
Because why?
Vegas has a pyramid.
Vegas has a
sphere
that has electricity and fucking gambling in it.
Yeah, and
these guys had fucking nothing.
I can guarantee you in 2,000 years
we made it out of glass.
I know in 2,000
not
years,
even stone.
But that's what I'm saying. In 2,000 years, it's going to be gone. The pyramids in 2,000 years are still going to be there. Going back to
because they're fucking made of. If
we could do it out of steel, that could outlast the pyramids.
I don't think it would.
We could do it out of rocks and it'd last just as long. But why would we? Because it wouldn't look as good and wouldn't be as useful.
Here's something I could think being plausible, Trevin, to your point, is with primitive tools.
They were more advanced than we give them credit for.
Okay, that's where I was going. Thank you, Brad. You brought me back to it full circle. So what if the technology was lost back in time or whatever, right? They had cranes and booms and all this other stuff. Maybe not electricity or gasoline, but a way to do it that we have no idea about.
Because we're like, no, they were primitive. They only had fucking sticks and rocks, right? Maybe they had more. They knew more than we thought that they knew.
Yeah. Because
like jumping straight to fucking aliens, there's no way they could have done it. So it must have been this fucking outlandish. I'm swearing a whole lot.
Warning.
Why does it have to be this outlandish thing? Why couldn't it, like, what's the simplest answer? Is they probably built it and we just don't know how they did it.
And the other thing,
we could build it today.
We could. I agree. We could do it. We could do it today. I think the reason we don't is because they're just giant blocks.
Exactly. It's just,
like there's not even that many rooms in it.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy thing. Like back in the day, they used to build like monolithic idol things to worship their gods.
Yeah.
I wish we bring that back.
We do with their sports stadiums.
Sports stadiums?
Yeah, we
named after the Vivint Sports Arena, like as a fucking cell phone company.
Well, we got sports stadiums named after Vikings that used to rape and pillage like different countries.
Well, dude, that's a whole lot of assumptions. Okay.
In fact, they were aliens.
Yeah. Here's something about the pyramids.
Technology to rape.
Didn't they float the blocks? They determined like it was a quarry up on the way up north on the river or something, Nile. Yeah. And they floated them down the river.
What type of boat can hold? Like a boat from I looked it up.
Fucking no, get out of here. Any boat.
We hold theme parks on our boats.
Yeah, we have skyscrapers that float.
I know. But that's what
I'm saying. That they don't know about like boats?
Buoyancy?
Yeah, they're like, oh, this sinks the boat. Okay, we need a bigger boat.
How did they load it?
I don't know. They pushed it. I don't know.
They pushed it.
Levers and pulleys.
Aliens.
Levers and pulleys.
UFOs.
What who's the person who said, you give me a big enough lever, I will lift the world?
I don't know. Joan of Arc.
No,
Galileo.
Some dude who
Isaac Newton.
Some physicist was like, if I have a big enough lever, if you have a big enough lever, you can lift anything.
I think
Same
the cool
pulleys.
The going back to your why do we have to go to aliens? I get frustrated with that because we limit our abilities as humans.
Yeah.
Humans aren't capable. We're too stupid. We're too racist. We're too mean. We're not good enough.
We're pretty fucking smart.
Yeah, and it's
we're
like
the only things on Earth with cell phones.
Exactly. And I think that's why I don't like the aliens conversation. It's like, no, we're badasses. Like we could do this.
Here's a crazy theory. This is like my conspiracy theory to put your tinfoil hats on. There's a theory out there that we lifted the pyramids or raised the stones with vibration.
Yeah.
Like they actually found the frequency of vibration of sound waves can move objects.
So we talked about
make the sound.
No, listen. Hey,
tuning forks.
Back up. We talked about this in one of the early episodes when we talked about religion, because that's the first verse in the real translation of the Bible in like the Hebrew.
What's the real
Greek
translation?
It's like when it was like not from Dead Sea Scrolls, but like when it was translated from like the actual scrolls, it said the gods sung the universe into existence. Like
so through vibration,
through frequency, they could do things.
Whoa, I feel like I've been born again.
You're welcome.
So I agree. Like, did they know how to sing in a major minus?
Yeah, they just got a bunch of vocalists around and went, and then they just started moving.
They just played some.
But yeah, we can't do that nowadays.
Yeah.
No, they had some like techno music that was just like the blocks would almost like jiggy their way up there.
To be fair, dude, at some of them EDM concerts, I feel like I'm floating like the vibrations.
But I mean, I think that either we're just not like you said, we're not giving them enough credit. Like I keep seeing these things. It's like, oh, they're finding that like the way that they drilled and like how the turns of the drill, it had to have been a power drill.
It was so precise.
I'm like, I don't know. They were
to build super skilled craftsmen.
I guess my thing
with tools that we don't understand. Not that we don't understand, we just don't think that they have the capability to do that. Because we can, like I said, we could build the pyramids probably just as good, if not better, than they are now.
It's just
out of stone.
I agree. Now it's just I'm putting myself. So they could have been built close to 5,000 years ago. They probably started building them probably 7,000-8,000 years ago and didn't complete them until like 4,000 or 5,000 years ago.
That's crazy.
My thing is that's what's crazy about it is if I say I was king of the United States, I was king of North and South America. And I was like, hey guys, I want to build something really big and it's going to take 2,000 years to complete.
Your great grandkids are going to be the ones to finish.
Yeah, like it would be so wild to get people on board to do that. That's so say awesome. You have the 5, like how many wars and how many like
we have 4-year presidential terms that don't even last that long. So it's like build the wall. Nah, no, we don't want to build the wall. Build the wall. We don't want to build the wall.
Exactly, and that's where I'm like, it blows.
Do we get people to build pyramids over 300 years?
They ain't got nothing better to do. They don't have cell phones.
It's true.
That's true. They didn't have cat videos.
Sex and pyramids.
But that's it's pretty cool if the humans did do it. Like it's awesome that they were on board. You go look at the skilled tradesmen. Say they had 500 of them. Did they just their families were the ones that took over and they started working with them when they were kids, so they knew how to do it. And like you got to think about that for 2,000 years. Like
The interesting thing though is I don't think that there's and there might be, but a perceived quality difference as you go up the pyramid.
Oh,
I don't know if there is, but maybe that would be something interesting to see. Is
as a generation takes over,
as you got better at it, did the pyramid get better? You know,
or to generation 4, like they're little shitheads,
they're little lazy
yeah.
bastards,
and like it's kind of crooked. Then generation 5 and 6,
yeah,
got
because if
better.
it took 1,000 years, are they getting it all from the same quarry? Right, because then you get rock differences.
Some that are more brittle or not as
or just from a different place on the earth. I don't know.
That is crazy. I didn't think about that.
I just think like people just give way too much awe to the pyramids. Not that the pyramids don't deserve awe, because I've never seen them. I would love to go see them, and in fact, maybe in a couple of years,
they're right
I
next
will.
to the city. Look at a picture on GeoGuessr, dude.
Yeah, but like I would love to just say, yeah, I've been to the pyramids. I think people like they think that it's so otherworldly because of the time, and they just put these mysteries onto it. That probably what's the simplest answer is usually the correct one, right?
So what's your simple answer?
That they were more advanced than we give them credit for. That would be my simple answer.
See, and that one's not as simple to me as like, how are they so advanced and then we just lost it? Like,
well, I mean, there could have been another type of small extinction
that killed a lot of the
things, or there could be some biases that.
What was it? The book burning of Alexandria or whatever, where they lost a bunch of history.
Yeah,
but
you lose a war, you lose your history.
It is crazy that the hieroglyphs, which I guess that makes sense. Like on our buildings, we don't print the blueprints on our buildings. Like they're a piece of paper that showed how we did it.
Depending on what the building was, we probably would. If the pyramids are meant to stand the test of time, we'd put that shit somewhere.
But that's the thing, is they're not on there.
Think about like if an Armageddon was to happen to us, to humans, and then aliens like show up and they're like, holy fuck,
someone lived here.
Look at this fucking Statue of Liberty. How the fuck did they do this? We've been watching these guys for years and years, and like they ain't shit. How the fuck did they do that?
Yeah.
There must be some other aliens out there that got here first.
True, and we don't have how the Statue of Liberty was built in the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
They'd be like, is this a tomb?
Yeah, I don't know. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like, I bet that they were pretty damn good at what they did.
Yeah.
And they had some tools that we have not kind of figured out how they would have had them, because we think that they were too primitive to know these things. Like, how did we get from horses 100 years ago?
150 years ago.
Late 1800s.
Late 1800s? The automobile was what, 1910?
1905.
1905 was the first automobile. How did we go from horses to flying in 120 years?
And in space, and talking about landing on another planet and habitating
in 150 years.
Definitely aliens.
And they
figured out how to build
a pyramid over 1,000 years,
and then didn't figure out how to freaking turn on the electricity. The other part of it was life. Here's a wild. This is, I guess, maybe too simple, but was life simple and good enough that people? Why would you? You know what I mean? Like the whole reason you do stuff is to have less stress or problems. What if
do you mean,
life?
why would you?
So I'm
nowadays.
No. So 5,000 years ago, they start building the pyramid, but life is awesome. They have food, they have water, like it's peaceful. Like there's games, there's events, there's fun things going on, and everyone helps build the pyramids. And it's just like, why would we want to make things better? Like it's.
I don't know if I would agree with that.
I would go the opposite. Is when things are stressful, innovation goes away. If all I'm doing is fighting for my life every single day, I'm not worried about inventing a phone.
No, I would. But when
I'm comfy and when I'm well fed and I'm taken care of and I've got some free time,
I don't know. I think humans are always a species of like innovation and more. We're just a species of more.
And the time we make the most progress is during war.
More.
Like out of necessity.
I want more.
You know what I mean?
Out of necessity. Yep, you're right.
I want to always achieve living easier and more. Even if I've got it easy right now, I still want more.
It is weird to me that the evolution, like, because they talk about how even cavemen, their brains thought the exact same way our brains think now. And we're always like, how do we be better? How do we get more? Exactly what you're saying. So it's hard for me to believe that they're building the pyramids and they're just like, this is good enough. Yeah. We don't need a TV.
Yeah, my great grandkids can handle that later. Whatever.
Yeah. Like
and
what's
we may
crazy-
just live in a time period where, because they say like technology like advances like tenfold every X amount of years or whatever,
yeah.
and now we're just hitting that steep part. Like
Like
if
technology just ramps up.
yeah, because
exponentially.
if you were to like make a primitive civilization, like in theory, like in a game or something, well, they'd spend a long time just trying to figure out the simple shit. And then the simple shit would help you figure out something else. And that thing would help you figure out something else. And then as soon
So
as
even
like
though it's advancing, it takes a long time to get to that curve.
to that first part where you start to accelerate.
Yeah.
And that's just where we're living. And we're accelerating like motherfucker.
Yeah, going back to your comment of why people hold the pyramids was such high esteem, I think. So here's a cool fact: the pyramids were the tallest building up until the 14th century. So like you think about all the things we accomplished, like Isaac Newton was around in like the 13th century, I think. So
I have
like
no idea.
like around there, I think it's 13th or 14th, and we still hadn't built something taller than that. And they were just like they were steeples on a church. It's not even like it was this giant building. It was just steeples on a church. And so
But why build higher?
Why go bigger?
Until you need to. Like
because why climb the mountain? It's like people just like
we can build wider. I need more room. Just build wider.
That's how humans are. Like
until we get to Manhattan, it's like there is no room. Build higher.
But okay. Maybe let me try and devil's advocate this one. They're in the middle of fucking nowhere. And they're like pharaohs, like just thousands of years of
they're like in a desert
of royalty.
But they used to not
and
be
they're
a
just
desert.
like
yeah,
you're right. It used to be very fertile land, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like fucking build a monument.
Yeah,
we're so fucking badass because the Egyptians,
I'm pretty much a god, so
as fuck.
fucking worship me.
Yeah, and then in Europe, the terrain isn't the best, maybe, and there's so much war and crazy stuff going on over there that that there's just no
why
time
build something that's going to get raped and pillaged by the Vikings.
Yeah, or just something that's so grand. It's just like it takes thousands of years to build in the first place.
What I find cool about the pyramids, and maybe not so cool, is we don't actually still know what they're even used for. Like, what is the purpose of the pyramids? Are they monuments?
Well, I think that's the thing that's frustrating for me.
There was rooms or complexes.
There's rooms, but it's not like they're like tiny
Are
little
they secret
like
alien power
passages.
stations.
Ooh, power stations that harness the Earth's electricity and shoot it.
I was listening to a podcast, and that was something they said. It was like, no, they were power stations, and it was like, but what do they power? What were they?
Back when the UFOs
where did they get their
land,
power?
dude.
Where would they get their power? And then that's when someone's like, I don't know, so aliens.
Yeah,
exactly. I was like, oh yeah, it was extraterrestrial. Okay, come on.
But what's crazy is like when they investigate
man.
the insides of the pyramids, everything's empty. Like there's no tomb chambers with like bodies and gold and lavish stuff. It's just all
because
empty.
we advanced enough, but before they got finished,
we got bored.
Yeah, we're like, it was a good idea 2,000 years ago, but
we built the biggest structures in the
this
world.
was a
and we're
waste.
just like, we're done with it.
Like, I don't know. What was
Grandpa
the idea?
What was Grandpa thinking? Here's a cool thing. Do you know what they actually looked like when they were finished, though?
Were they painted white?
So it had white limestone on it, and then the top was gold. So there's that picture.
Yeah,
like
it would be really cool to see.
Like when it looked like that, like holy shit, that is
put that
beautiful.
picture up on our socials.
Yeah, like that is cool when it looked like that. Nowadays, it's just
so that looks like a beacon, dude. That's a lighthouse for UFOs to land.
Right.
Aliens. It all just full circles back to aliens.
In the middle of nowhere too.
It is weird. I think the pyramids are pretty cool. I would want to go there. You can go on tours.
It would be really cool to see. And then you could see it from the city too. So it'd be cool to just be in the city and like, tour the city. There's a trip that I've been thinking about taking, and it's like you take a cruise along the Nile.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so like you get on a boat, obviously, and you cruise. And apparently there's like markets. There's
bazaars.
Well, there's these shop owners that they will get on their boats and they'll come and tether to your boat and try and sell you shit. While you're on the, and hey, so you drop down money, they throw you up the good or whatever. So you cruise the Nile, and then one of the days is out in the city.
I think you can go on tours on specific parts of the inside of the pyramids.
Yeah.
They have stuff like that. That would be cool to see.
Here's another weird part is the Sphinx next to the pyramids.
Yeah.
For the longest time, until they uncovered it, they thought it was just the head of the Sphinx. They didn't know there was a body there.
Yeah.
And they finally uncovered it and went, whoa, what is this thing? What is going on here?
The other thing too is we have pyramids everywhere.
I know
True.
that is,
the Incans, the Mayans, they built pyramids
halfway across the world,
and
there's
they're very
pyramids.
similar looking, like with some similar type of markings. And that's the stuff that I get some pretty conspiracy theory.
But the theory or the whatever the logical answer is, there's only one easy way to stack stones. In a pyramid.
No, sorry. What I'm saying is a hieroglyphs. Like there's pyramids all across the world, and they all have a picture of a guy wearing a helmet and holding a handbasket with a tube that comes up into his head. And it's like when the aliens had here, they couldn't breathe our air, and so they had to wear special devices as they walked around and helped. So that's the stuff where I'm like, maybe. I can see the ancient aliens guys. I'm like, that kind of makes sense. Like,
but that goes back to religion too. All religions across the world have a very similar story, and so
that we planted that humans were planted on this planet.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the Jesus. He died on Easter. He rose 3 days later and walked. Like, there's a lot of like similarities between the hundreds and hundreds of religions that are across the world. So I don't know. There's some consistency there. There's probably some universal truths, and I mean, if you believe in that type of shit, then you probably should believe in all these religions because they're all telling the same damn story.
Well, here's a fun fact about like the Jesus story. Did you know there's been like, I want to say 341 gods before him that had the exact same storyline? Yeah. That it was he was born of a virgin.
Yep.
He was a son of God. He had special powers. He died and he rose 3 days later. And yeah.
And what's interesting about those stories too is they are very similar to what the sun does throughout the year, because so like the winter solstice, the sun dies and becomes really low in the winter, and it stays low for 3 days, and then it begins to rise again. And so if your civilization is built around the sun,
that is your god.
That is
your
life.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it dies for 3 days and then is resurrected. And then the summer solstice is when it becomes, starts to become dark again. And so a lot of these stories also coincide with the
solar system.
The solar system, right?
Cool.
So there are these universal truths that everyone tells stories about. And so going back to hieroglyphs, I'm sure there's fucking universal truths that everyone is telling the same stories about.
Yeah.
Is that aliens? Probably not.
You're a buzzkill, dude.
I know. But what's the simplest answer, right? And the simplest answer isn't always the right answer. It is usually the right answer.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Pyramids
and Jesus.
Pyramids and Jesus. Jesus built the pyramids.
Some people are gonna be mad. They're like, "These guys really don't believe aliens created the pyramids? Are you fucking kidding me?"
They did. I'll prove it.
Here, pop quiz. Where are the pyramids at?
Giza.
What country?
Egypt.
Oh, good job.
You really didn't think we know that?
I don't know.
Did you know the city?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Where's Stonehenge? Was that built by aliens?
It's in England, love.
What city is it in England?
I have no
Manchester.
I actually don't know.
No way. I don't. That was a guess.
I thought it was in Ireland. On an island.
I think it's in England.
It's in the UK.
Yeah.
Okay, we're digging ourselves a hole. Let's end this.
We're done.
We do any more pop? We got 2 out of 3. If we do a third one, people are gonna be like, "They're idiots." I'm done with that.
I'm fucking unsubscribe.
Hey, don't unsubscribe. Send us a DM. Tell us what you think about the pyramids.
Yeah, go look at our socials to see that picture Trevin's going to post about the pyramids and what it looks like. It's a pretty little beacon.
Pretty little beacon for the aliens
That's
to land.
Movie. Pretty little beacon.
Pretty little beacon.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.
We're streaming on all major podcast platforms, so go check us out every Monday morning.
You can catch us on a Lunchtime Conversation on Instagram and Facebook. Go ahead and send us a message. And on Twitter or X, it is a Lunchtime Convo.